cannot believe that I just sit here and chat to you and people actually return and watch and leave such lovely comments. It certainly took some doing for me to come on, and now I just absolutely love it. So thank you so much for this. It's been lovely for me, and it really does lift my spirits, particularly some of the lovely comments that are left, because it's literally just me talking about real life. And sometimes if I've got something that I've managed to get for nothing or from a charity shop, I bring it home and I show it to you. I love to show it to you, and it seems that people like to watch it, so that's fantastic for me. Just been out in the garden. It's about 4:20. My husband's going to be about an hour later for tea than he normally is. He's finishing off a bit of the wood port, and I thought, well, I'll do another little video, because this is what I like to do. I feel too tired to go and start doing a task or anything, so whilst I'm waiting for him, I thought I'll just chat away. Been in the garden. I've got the hellebores coming into flower, and some of them are in flower already. I've got a nice greeny coloured one and then a maroony one. I think the white one I haven't got anymore, but they're lovely to see. I've got my first daffodil coming out, and I've got crocuses, although I think you really should call them croci if there's more than one. And what else have I got? Oh, snowdrops. And the daphne's coming into flower as well. I love the daphne because it smells so nice. It smells of a really lovely soap. You know, you used to get really pretty soaps when I was little, and they'd smell lovely. I use bars of soap. At the moment, I think I've got a Dove one and also a Dettol soap. My husband likes coal tar. My grandmother used pears, the amber coloured one that you could see through. And my dad, he used to use imperial leather. And I've never seen anybody wash themselves like my dad would, because, you know, he'd come in from work and have a good wash, you know, and I know I can still remember him drying my hair when I was a little girl. And I lost my dad when I was 22, and a couple of years after that I can remember going to a hairdresser's and having my hair washed, and the lady that was drying it really vigorously, and you know, I just felt like closing my eyes and thinking, oh, it's just like my dad used to do it, you know. It was a little thought that I had that nobody knew about, you know, but I was back there. Another thing that he used to do was I used to pretend to be asleep because I was the youngest of four, and he would carry me upstairs and put me into bed, and I used to love that. And taking me down to the allotment, it was quite a long way from where we lived. He used to put me in the barrow on the way down there, and he'd fill it up with produce, so I'd have to walk back. But on the way back home, we'd stop at the miners' welfare, and my dad would order a pint, and I'd have the frothy bit off the top. I wasn't very old, you know, but it was lovely, that was. And I've never forgot it. The other day we were going past where I used to live when I was a little girl. I lived in a village, and I said to my husband, near the recreation ground, which we always called the rec, there was 2 seats, and some of the old miners used to sit on the seats, and I know my granddad did. and if the ice cream van was there, he'd buy me an ice cream. I think he died when I was about 9, and I did miss him. He was quite a man's man, but nevertheless I did miss him. He was a character, and he made some lovely things out of wood. He used to make a lot of things out of wood. So that's just little snippets of what reminds you of things. Smells do, don't they? And different situations remind you of people. Different flowers remind you of people. I know forget-me-nots remind me of my dad, because I felt so guilty if I didn't remember him every day. If I didn't have a thought about him every day, I used to feel guilty, that I'd not thought about him. Now I don't think about him every day, but I do think about him a lot. And same with everybody, my mum and the other members of our family that have passed away. I knew my dad's mum and dad and his sister, and knew vaguely my mum's sisters and brothers. We didn't seem to see them as much, but I didn't know my mum's mum. I think she died when she was in her 40s, and I didn't know my mum's dad, although I think he was still alive when I was a toddler, but of course I don't remember him. But I remember seeing a couple of pictures, and I said to my mum, when I'd be in my 40s, who's that man on that picture? And she said, oh, it's my dad, which obviously was my granddad. So we'd had these pictures for years, and I didn't know that was him, because I'd never seen him. So it's just strange, isn't it, really? Photographs are very good, but I would always say to people, try and write on the back who they are and what year it is, because it certainly helps people who find them in later years. The strangest thing that I find, like I say, we're all different, is the fact that people throw whole boxes of family photographs away. I would not dream of it. I couldn't do it. But it's just, that's probably why I've got a lot of stuff. I just find it difficult to let things that are personal like that go. I know a few years ago, I don't know whether I'd heard it on the radio or something, but it really hit me. It said, if you've got things that really make you feel so sad, that are not giving you anything at all but sadness, then get rid of them. So I did get rid of a lot of things, things that, I've obviously carried some grief from the past. One particular one was things to do with one of the dogs that I had that got run over. I'd gone to see my mum, and the door had been opened, and my dog followed me, and of course got run over. And for years I couldn't look at a picture of him. He was such a lovely dog. And I did keep a few pictures of him, but some of the things to do with him I just had to let go because I found them so sad. So, if there are things that make you feel sad and you're positive you could do without them, then try and let them go. That's what I do. I try and let a lot of things go, like anything really that makes you sad. Things that you feel responsible for, but you're not really. So best to just let them go. Things that happen in the world as well, that, you haven't done, so don't carry that burden on your back. Things that our forefathers have done, that probably we would have done differently. You know, that's history. Time to let it go. Time to move on. What I try and do now, because I realise that I can't make everything right, is try and do the best for me and my family and my environment, you know, my home, etc. And try and never throw rubbish on the floor. I cannot abide people throwing things on the floor or dumping things. You know, who do you think's going to pick it up? You should be responsible for picking things up yourself. And if you've got children, teach them to pick things up. You know, it's as simple as that. If you're throwing things about in your own home, fair enough, but try not to do it out on the streets. Also, when you see people putting their feet up on seats, you know, that it's not their home, so why would they do it on trains or on buses? You know, somebody else has got to sit down there. Just have a little bit of thought, that's all. That's I don't know what's took me on that little tangent, but you know, I never write anything down. I just come out with my thoughts, and I'm very happy that people are watching, because it makes me feel like I've got some worth, and that's a very important thing for all of us, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to get myself a nice cup of tea, not Earl Grey, just tea, with milk, of course. And I think we've got a bit of salmon, some boiled potatoes, what else? Some tomatoes. I'll have a tiny bit of onion, and that's what we're having for us tea. Probably a bit of beetroot as well, because that's nice. Right, anyway, we're going to take Tamsin in the morning, so we've got to be at theirs for 6:30. So it's a very early start for me tomorrow, so think about us, and by this time tomorrow it'll all be done. She'll have had the needle pulled out of her finger. I don't know. We need to wrap ourselves up in cotton wool, I think. Right, lots of love. Bye.